Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, Black Myth Wukong has obviously released, and damn, that's all I can really say. People are happy. And that's what we like to see in gaming. We really don't get enough of it anymore, so I thought we would talk about it a little bit. You can see here right out the gate, Black Myth Wukong crushes Elden Ring and Cyberpunk 2077 all-time player records on Steam with 1.2 million and counting. The amusing thing here is we're going through and immediately there's a picture of a woman. Go figure. That sure didn't take long. The most wishlisted game on Steam is now the most played game on Steam, going by current players. As of this writing, less than 2 hours after launch, more than 1,249,525 people are playing single-player action RPG Black Myth Wukong, rocketing it into the Hall of Fame. It's already easily surpassed an elite list of powerhouse games, including Hogwarts Legacy at 87,000, Elden Ring at 953,000, and Cyberpunk 2077 at 1.0454 million, according to SteamDB. Next in its sights is Dota 2, which it will probably pass by the time this article makes it across the internet and into your eyeballs. The bigger question is whether Black Myth can take down the concurrent number of PUBG and Palworld, which set their records January 2018 and January 2024 respectively at 3.26 million and 2.1 million. That seems entirely possible. While both of those games have the advantage of being multiplayer, Black Myth is already putting up wild numbers before noon in China, with most of the rest of the world asleep, and it's only going to keep climbing. And that is, of course, from PC Gamer, written by Wes Fenlon. And how could this be happening, you wonder? You know, the reviews were good. Everything leading up to the game basically told us, you know, it wasn't going to be like so many Western games, to put it politely. And the developers seemed to really just want to make a good game and wanted to make a fun game that people wanted to play. It used a story that a lot of people have a passing familiarity with, believe it or not, mostly through anime like Dragon Ball Z. There were others mentioned, but I can't remember the names. And that gets people excited, knowing that someone makes a game not because they want to, well, not necessarily because their main purpose is to force people into certain lines of thought, but because they just want to make a good game, makes people excited, even when that topic isn't necessarily something within their own culture. Contrary to many popular beliefs, I'm sure we will see a lot of excuses as to why this bit of non-European lore has attracted so much attention and excitement from gamers across the world. As mentioned in the previous video, there's not enough diversity in this game. There are no women, though in fact there are at least 2. Black Myth Wukong features female characters like the Spider Lady. Yes, they exist in the game, but they're both beautiful and dangerous, so they don't count for the journalists. Now, in terms of the journalists, they're obviously not going to think 2 is enough. I'm also going to say she didn't get this far in the game, so she didn't know about them, because she said at least within the first few hours, we all know she didn't beat that game. She had no interest in beating the game, so I sincerely doubt she beat the game. But at least she did play the game. Now, in what is an interesting bit of bait, but still at the same time expresses an interesting point that I'm sure you will hear a little bit more. This Pierre says this is so clearly a game developed by order of the CCP to generate clout abroad and sell the false sentiment that the West is collapsing, while simultaneously selling to the Chinese people that China is doing impressive things abroad. The sentiment here becomes national propaganda. And Grums did retweet this with a very good point. If you could just throw money and order a game team to make a fun viral hit game and expect it to work, the industry would be full of them every time. The game's success will certainly be used to promote China nationalism, but the game being a hit in fun is not a product of being ordered to do so. You can't fake those Steam numbers, and the West's decline in AAA gaming is entirely their own fault for following woke ideology, stale ideas, and an anti-gamer sentiment over gameplay. Now, personally, I think it's the anti-gamer sentiment over everything else. This woke ideology and stale ideas are just part of that, because realistically, those both are part of just hating people And of course, depending on who you ask, for the most part, I think we can agree gamers are people. I think at this point, we have proven that just because you throw a lot of money at a game does not mean it's going to be successful. Games succeed or fail based not on how much is spent on them. In this case, I can't really say not based on the graphics, because the graphics, from what I am understanding, are gorgeous. But more importantly, it has engaging gameplay and a storyline that doesn't insult its players. The fact that it builds upon something that many players are already familiar with doesn't hurt either. I remember when discussing the game coming out with my boyfriend, because it's based on Journey to the West, his first thing was, oh, that's basically what Dragon Ball is part of, which was an interesting bit of information. I never knew that. I had never heard of Journey to the West previous to discovering this game. So here you have a bunch of people learning about a new culture, respectfully to the culture, not treating them like they're stupid, and they're having fun while doing it. It's almost like if you just put out a good game that expresses the ideas or the culture that you would like people to experience accurately, people will play it. People will enjoy it. You can see here there are already 20,631 reviews, giving it a very positive review state. Now, there is a downside. There is obviously a third-party DRM, de novo, and it does require an end user's license agreement to Black Myth Wukong, but at least you're not having to sign into an entirely separate account to use your game. I'm not a big fan of DRM, but at this stage, I don't think you're going to get away without it. Now, I am curious, just because I like to do things in reverse. Here we see 27,534 reviews. 25,994 of those are positive and 1,540 are negative. Let's take a look at the negative ones. Apparently, if you have an AMD card, you want to wait until it gets updated because the game is crashing. I'm seeing a few of those talking about an AMD card issue. So if you're thinking about getting the game and have an AMD, please make sure you are prepared for that. Otherwise, you have this fellow here saying the AI is trash, legit, doesn't move if you don't move, and it waits on your input. Here's a fellow that says he has a 4070 and an AMD 7500. Now, I'm going to say since he has a combination of the two, that's part of why he's not having crashes. He says, the reason I haven't given a positive review is because the controller vibration isn't done well, even on PS5. I want more people with the same complaint to be heard because controller vibration is really important for some people, especially PS5 players. To be honest, even in Elden Ring, I felt the controller vibration was poorly done. Specifically, there is no clear distinction in the vibration feedback between light and heavy attacks or when taking damage. Also, during heavy actions like running, walking, and jumping, the PS5 controller doesn't fully utilize its subtle vibration capabilities. I believe this Chinese company can do better, but obviously they still have performance optimization issues to solve, so I think the controller vibration optimization might not be a priority for now. And I'm not going to lie, I did not know that controller vibration optimization was a thing. Someone fill me in down in the comments. Is that something you find important? I've never, like I said, never found that that was an issue. I could just not really have thought about it before, though. Yeah, AMD is unplayable. This person is saying got it for free with the NVIDIA 4000 series and you wish you sold it. Even with the highest settings, game just didn't look good. Looks like a game with imported assets of a forest and then sprinkled some characters over the landscape. The first fight scene looks ridiculously bad with white clouds, and this game thinks it's a Souls game, LOL. Deleted the game right away as soon as they asked me to offer incense at a shrine. I don't want any religion in my game. This person sounds boring. As of right now, I don't recommend getting this game unless you have some kind of super PC. Constantly crashes, unplayable. Don't buy yet if you have an AMD. This person says, I'm hard pressed between yes and no as of writing this. I kind of have to lead towards no for now. Really, if only because of the lack of optimization that exists. I am sure after a time the game has continuous support and updates that it will be a superb game. The visuals and gameplay are good, and the flow feels just right so far. It's just the lack of optimization that takes it all away from me, especially for its current price point. Here's a person who apparently received the game for free. Took forever to load. All of my 0.4 hours in game, 0.3 in loading. Sound refused to sync, unreal, and is overall buggy. Combat seems diverse, point for that. Items of different resolution used in same frame stands out and knocks out the immersion. Doesn't seem like a fully polished product. Friend provided the free product. Love, friend. Okay. This person actually refunded it. Best I could say is it's okay. Feels like a new team was given near infinite money. It looks fantastic. Boss fights are great, but it doesn't flow outside of boss fights like it should. Not a bad game by any means, but not worth the money, at least not strictly for the gameplay. Again, interesting story, seems like a decent adaptation. It does a good job making a spectacle of itself early game. Feel like this is a studio to watch for their next few games. I suspect will address all my issues with this one. Interesting. This person thinks it's boring and it's too much hype. Another crash. And that's just a few of it. So I will again emphasize the whole, if you have an AMD card, apparently you want to wait to get the game until they manage to patch something. So that is, well, just something to keep in mind. And as of recording, on the SteamDB page, you can see Black Myth Wukong has 190 players as of right now, and this is still early morning in the Western world. I imagine as people wake up, this will continue to go up, as the database said earlier. This game is definitely going places, no doubts about that. A lot of people are celebrating in terms of, we won, we're winning, we're getting ahead, and to some degree that's true. I would still keep an eye out. Remember that just because a game doesn't push an agenda you don't like doesn't mean it's a good game. So please remain honest. Though I am going to say with these numbers, people are genuinely enjoying it, which is great. That is absolutely what I love to see. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if anything else develops or if it's just clear sailing for here. I will be very curious to see if these AMD video card crash issues get resolved. I want to thank you so much for listening. Like I said, put down in the comments what your thoughts are about this game and your thoughts about that whole vibration optimization thing. If you have any information on that you could give me, I would be more than happy to listen. I look forward to hearing what you say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.